There we go. Fantastic. Hello, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We have the Bournemouth University Society here. People are kind of sort of like spread out. We've got a few people here. We've got the shortest HDMI cable that's attached to the screen, so we can't really move the monitor much. But just to introduce this, hopefully this is streaming to Discord as well. So welcome to all of our Discord subscribers. Welcome. This is going to be an inside Q&A with Dark Rift Horror with Stewart Sparke and Paul Butler, the writer and producers of How to Kill Monsters. How to Kill Monsters was a movie that won the Audience Choice Award at Screams by the Sea 2024, I believe. And we just came here to the Bournemouth Film Society where we just showed the movie. We all got together, we watched the movie. Guys, we love that movie. I've seen this movie probably, I don't know, what, 11 times now, I think. Every single time I see it. I'll pull this little chair right here next to you and I'll just get closer. I'll just get a little cozier. And I'll just sort of like start us going. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight for this Q&A, guys. I wanted to sort of start from the beginning. Can you guys sort of briefly tell us where and How to Kill Monsters kind of sort of like became a seed and then that kind of sort of like blossomed and became a movie, and where and how that became the film that we now watched? Like what was the origin story of that movie briefly for the people that don't know in the room?
I don't know, do you want me to
You dive in,
if
yeah.
I can remember, yeah, we'd because Paul and I were making shorts for a number of years. We both worked in York at a university in the kit store. We're like technicians for the film course there. And we wanted to make a feature, and we managed to get a bit of money together. We made our first feature called Creature Below. That led to making another feature called Book of Monsters. And we really realized we liked doing horror comedy. So How to Kill Monsters was kind of like, I'd say, the first proper film we did,
Yeah.
where we actually kind of knew what we were doing.
Kind of made most of the mistakes on the first two, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's still a very indie film, as you can see from the low budget and everything. But it's a lot of passionate people trying to have a really good time on set. But yeah, we made a film called Book of Monsters that weirdly did really well. It was on like Sky TV. It was on the Horror Channel. It sold distribution in like a lot of countries. We've got like Blu-ray release and stuff. When indie films used to get Blu-ray releases back in
Yes.
the day. Um, so it did well, and we were told by a lot of our mentors in the industry and stuff, like, keep making like horror comedy stuff
Yeah,
because you're really good at
another
that.
one.
So we were like, okay, well, let's do it and fix all the mistakes from the last one. Production, I wouldn't say, like the film is a mistake, but like we improved upon its faults and things like that. So I feel like How to Kill Monsters was us really swinging for the fences with still a very small budget. We Kickstarter funded a lot of it. And yeah, it's really just two people's crazy ideas of what they think a really fun horror film should be,
Oh,
which
it's
again,
absolutely spectacular. And like you're talking about
thanks.
you're talking about like low budget and stuff. Like how many different monsters are there in How to Kill Monsters?
I
Because you're
can't
talking
remember.
about low
Yeah.
budget, but like the scope is there. Like there's so many, like
Well,
it's just the world is massive, the characters are vast.
but we did a pretty cool thing with Book of Monsters. So we wanted to allow the audience to choose the monsters. And we had this idea then that allows us to have loads of monsters. And that seemed to go down really well. And it scratched a lot of itches for us as makers as well. It was like, oh, we can do little creatures, and then we can do a massive one, and then we can do one that's like gigantic when it goes outside, and all these cool things that we like. We were like, well, let's just do it. And in a way, the story allows it to have its own little areas. Like it's a relatively contained film in a way, location wise. We don't really go anywhere other than the police station and things, but it moves because you've got lots of different creatures. And yeah, I can't actually remember how many we've got now.
Yeah.
Because we've made another project since then. It's weirdly kind of feels quite distant to us, but it's great that people are still enjoying it. And thank you for putting it on. I hope everyone enjoyed it in the room. It's always nice to see people watching it.
Oh, I love watching this movie with other people as well. It's always so much more enjoyable when you get the experiences and the laughs, and everybody goes, "Oh yeah, I got the little joke." And it's fantastic watching movies together in the same room and
Totally.
massive screen, audio everywhere. I before I kind of sort of open it to the floor for questions, I also have kind of sort of like you spoke about the fact that it's kind of sort of it's done its thing. You've kind of sort of like parked it somewhere. It's been around the world. I have a kind of sort of a question that's surrounding that. So the movie has gone around the world. It won a bunch of different awards. It won Screens by the Seas Audience Choice Award as well. It has been seen by so many different audiences. And for you guys as independent filmmakers, how do you guys describe the success of this movie? Like, what is the success of How to Kill Monsters for you now when you've seen its journey, gone through so many different places and so many different audiences?
I don't know. For me, it's just I'm really happy that people are seeing it because when you make any film, especially on an independent level, no one knows about it. So you've got to you're like screaming at the rooftops on social media, going, watch my film. And film festivals are obviously a really important part of that. But just to go to a festival and sit in the audience and have people laugh
Yeah.
at the jokes that you put in or the really gory moments and sometimes laugh at the stuff that you didn't think was a joke, but it turns out it's funny. You're like, yeah, I planned that to be funny, and it was just terrible writing. You just claim it as, your idea. But that's the success for us because
Yeah.
unfortunately there's a different talk in this that we'll probably end up doing at Screen by the Sea anyway, where it's like about the
segue.
realities
Yeah.
about the reality of find the financial side of it and how you define success is obviously relative to you, but success for us is have people enjoyed the film? Are people telling other people they enjoyed the film? Are people watching it? And that's what we found with all of our films and How to Kill Monsters especially, is that even though we did our festival run way back in 2023 was when it started, every other day I get tagged in Instagram posts going, just saw this on Amazon Prime, really fun. Just bought the Blu-ray. And we obviously self-distributed the Blu-ray for this one. So it's quite nice. I get an email saying someone's ordered the Blu-ray and we signed the Blu-ray and that's really fun for us. So for us, the fact that it's got out there and people are actually watching it is the success for us. And that feels pretty cool.
Is it similar? Is it similar for you, Paul, as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I'd also say, like, you have kind of peak moments as filmmakers, and we've done obviously a few films now. And for me, on How to Kill Monsters, I had that peak moment, and it was sat at the back of Fright Fest. So really big festival. I think we sold out again. It was kind of doubling up as the premiere, so we had a lot of our kind of cast and crew and Dark Rift family there. And everyone was laughing where they should have been laughing, and everyone was like smiling and stuff. And I thought to myself, oh my God, we've made an actual film. Like, it felt like the other ones were like, I don't know, sketches, and this was the final piece. And that was really, really rewarding. And it's lovely to get awards, and it's lovely to go to festivals and see people and meet other filmmakers and feel like you're in that game. But really, watching people watch your film is the most rewarding. And as Stewart says, hearing like comments in comment sections and things like that of people going, oh yeah, I love this, yeah, it's just a great little find. And I was sat with one of the crew, our visual effects guy Gary, and he was like, oh, do you know what, mate, sometimes I just come home and I just stick on Book of Monsters, our second one, and he wasn't involved with that in any way. And he was like, I just really enjoy it. I just think it's so great. It just makes me laugh. And I was like, that's great for him. He's watching it probably more than I've seen it because he's just enjoying the experience. And you only need a few little experiences of that where you start to realize it's not about the big books. And we have to tell ourselves that because we've both got day jobs still. But yeah, that's a success for me.
That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, community is something that it's very much about in the Dark Rift sort of ethos, is bringing the community together and making them part of the journey and part of the movies, which is absolutely fantastic. That is amazing, guys. So open to the society. So any questions, guys? Yes, fantastic. Go ahead. I think we have a microphone somewhere if you want to sort of have a... I'll probably repeat the question for the streams and everything. Go on.
So what were the main filming locations?
What are
Where was it filmed exactly?
Where was it filmed exactly? So what are the main filming locations? Where was it filmed, the movie?
Yeah, we were really lucky. So Paul and I have our day job is we are the technicians on a film course in Leeds at Leeds Becker University, and as part of kind of our good behavior award as technicians, and Paul, working
Greasing all the palms.
yeah, working very, we have a very good relationship with the academic staff and the facility staff there, is we're able to shoot at the university. We actually employed about 12 students, basically some paid work experience, kind of shadowing kind of professional crew that we brought in. So we took over, was it 3 studios?
Yeah, 3 studios, and we also had like a staging area for all the props and the monsters and stuff like that. And yeah, we were very lucky. We had to shoot in a very restricted way, so we could only shoot over the summer months where the university was generally quite quiet. We also had to work around what's kind of daft as a film. Really, the hours that we could shoot were really restricted because they closed the building at, I think it was it 5 o'clock
Yeah,
or something?
no, it was 6. So we
6
had to
o'clock?
shoot 9 to 5 like a normal job.
Yeah,
It was kind of cool because you
Yeah.
just went home and had a life.
yeah,
Unlike normal film industry where you work like crazy hours.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we got to talk about that.
yeah. I mean, it was a lovely way to shoot, really. Everyone kind of got fed and things.
Yeah.
So we were incredibly lucky with that. What I would say is you kind of try and make your own luck. So we did foster those relationships. We did another one at the university prior to this when the university was at a different location, and that was through Prime Studios, where they used to shoot like Emmerdale and the likes around that area of Leeds. And we got to know the manager of that facility through the university, and I kind of just got cozying up to Ben one day and was like, "Oh look, Ben, we're really struggling for a location." He's like, "Oh look, you can have one of the studios for a couple of weeks," and it was kind of no skin off his nose, but for us, it must have been like a good £100,000 in kind that he just let us run free on it, and he was like, "Just make sure we're on the credits," and I brought him a nice bottle of whiskey and things, and was like, "That's brilliant." I mean, we've done location stuff as well in the past, and there was a little bit of location shooting on this one as well.
I think anytime they're inside the police station, it's a set that we built in a studio. So like the cells section. And again, that's the biggest part of the production design I regret because we were so rushed. It's just blue walls and grey bars.
The
And
paint
like,
was still drying
yeah,
when the camera was
literally.
turning on.
If you ever end up getting the Blu-ray, there's a making of documentary, and there's literally me painting it in the footage, and Paul was painting it as well, like on the Sunday, and then we filmed on the Monday. We're like, don't touch the cells because it's wet. But it's like, yeah, anything inside is that, and then obviously the building when they're kind of running down corridors and stuff. That's the film school building because Leeds Beckett went for a really industrial-looking concrete style. And it was like, okay, this looks cool.
Yeah, we'll use this.
Yeah, and then the cabin in the woods location at the beginning is just like a glamping place outside of York. And that's just me wanting to do the end of Scream, but at the beginning of the movie where it's like the news report. But yeah, I guess kind of the point is even on our first feature film that we made for 12 grand, that which was all location based, we ended up with like a fishing trawler we shot in the engine room. It's like you can make your film seem really high budget by being really nice to people that have cool locations. And often if you ask, they'll give you it for free, or in exchange for you making a cool promo video for them. So yeah, we didn't really spend any money on locations at all for How to Kill Monsters or any of our films. Actually, we're just very, very lucky. But again, we put in the work of being really nice people. Oh, that's what we pretend.
Stop it. I know you guys.
Yeah.
Amazing. Any other questions? Yes, right here. Get the microphone.
So even though it's such like a ambitious film, you had such a small budget to do it on, was it difficult to sort of write around that sort of restriction, or did you find a way to make everything fit?
The question is, how do you write on a restrictive budget, and did you have to adjust different things in your writing to fit sort of the budget style? Is that correct? Yeah.
Well, we've kind of always had no money, so
Yeah.
from day one, even doing the shorts, we tried. we try to be ambitious but realistic. And like I always say, like, you can fail one or two ways when you're thinking about what you're writing and what you can actually achieve. And you can either write too big or you can write too small.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, and you see it a lot with first-time filmmakers who are very enthusiastic. They'll write these amazing big pieces which to do properly would cost you £1 million, but they're like, well, we're going to shoot it anyway, but it's going to be my mate who's gaffer taped a little bit of this to this weird little prop, and I'm going to be 16 years old, but I'm going to pretend I'm a grizzly cop that's a 40-year-old man. And it's like
Every student film that we've made.
we've all done those mistakes. I'm not knocking it, and it's still fun to do them. But equally, you can go the other way and go, well, we haven't got anything, so it's just going to be us two in a tiny room, and we're not going to be ambitious. So I suppose our biggest strength is walking that line, really. And obviously things have to adapt on the day. Not so much with this one, but on previous shoots, we'd kind of get there and be like, okay, the monster isn't as good as we thought it was when we actually get the lights on it and that. So Stewart's a very good director and editor, so we're going to have to shoot round that and edit round that. So you have to kind of roll with it, but it really is a balance between being ambitious and making sure you can actually pull something off that stands on its own merits. Because one thing that's brutal but really reassuring is your film gets judged alongside every other film that comes out, whether it's the next James Cameron film or two idiots in York making a £12 feature.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, and I think it's definitely it rather than going away and just writing the story, like we're quite kind of thoughtful of the locations while we're writing it. So like we're coming up with a new one now, we're literally thinking about what's a cool thing we could get, and how do we fit that into the story we haven't written yet for that scope and things like that. And it's almost like now we've gotten into doing video games with our latest project, which is a live action video game project. How you do video games is kind of like that. You're like, what's the coolest gameplay thing we want the player to do that's going to be fun? Okay, now how do we write a story that fits that in it? So like we knew for Creature Below, we had a cool fishing trawler that the crew would just let us into the engine room and on the bridge with the wheel, and we were like, okay, we can get this. So we are definitely writing a scene in the film with a ship. Like that's the reason why in our first feature there's a ship in it.
Another way to look at it as well, we love all different kinds of horror and all different kinds of films, really. But we did Creature Below, and one of the biggest criticisms we got was, this film takes itself too seriously. And we did in a way. We wanted to make a psychological horror that felt very real, but then we had this weird kind of squid monster that was rubbery kind of silliness in a way, and we played it a bit too straight. And we were like, well, we like comedy horrors. Who doesn't like comedy horrors? But they are a difficult one to pull off. But we thought, well, we can do the monsters and just lean into the rubbery monster silliness of it and still scare people and still have loads of blood and guts and gore, but it's purposely over the top because we knew we could pull that off. So Book of Monsters in particular, there's certain bits and you can almost see like the rubbery bits underneath the arms of the creature and stuff, but it's all part of the feel to it. So again, it's writing within those restrictions. If we'd done a serious version of Book of Monsters and still had the rubberiness, it wouldn't have played well, and it would have sold the audience short, really. And that's where it can kind of be worrying or not work.
Amazing. Yeah, understanding genre and in the genre with which you work in and what's available to you as well to kind of sort of like create this, basically engineer, direct this scene and then write it and understand what you have available to make something really memorable out of that. That's fantastic. That's amazing. Yes, go for it. Yeah, go on in.
Hi. So I was wondering, I looked at your filmography and a lot of it is monster horror. And obviously you said you're interested in horror comedy, but what draws you specifically to monster films?
So why specifically monster films?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just obsessed. I don't know why. I think it's because I always remember like my dad just let me watch Aliens when I was really young. And I like had nightmares about. I like watched Gremlins when I was really young, and I had nightmares about Gremlins for years. Gremlins 2, weirdly enough.
Gremlins 2, I loved it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I think monsters are just cool because they're not. It's like there's so many different types of horror. You've got like Saw, you've got like humans as the horror element, you've got like body horror. Monsters are cool, man. That's why I like them. It's like Godzilla, and like I love the legendary Godzilla movies, the Japanese Godzilla films. Like the rubber monsters are tangible. Like
Yeah.
it's the same thing like why Yoda in like the original Star Wars trilogy is so cool because it's a puppet, and like the Muppets are cool. Like I'm a huge fan of the Muppets as well, so I think they're all connected into one thing of puppets and creatures are cool, and that's why we do it. And I know that sounds really simple, but that's literally like why I personally love it.
I'm gonna arts it up.
You
now.
can give the arty farty answer.
I'll give the press release answer. No, I agree with Stuart totally. Gremlins 2 in particular was my go-to VHS. But yeah, for me, what I like about Monsters as well is that it's, for want of a better word, especially the films that we make, we want to entertain people first and foremost. We care about the experience, like a roller coaster, crazy, enjoyable experience. And Monsters, you can do a lot more with them because you can build up their own preconception of what they are. So we're not trying to be smart. We're not trying to make a big social commentary. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but Monsters are kind of like a blank slate. And you can do that with Monsters. Obviously, you can add things onto that and make it an allegory for this or that or whatever. And I love films like that. But for us, it's like a tangible enemy. That's what I like about it. It's like, right, it's a real big thing that people can bond together to fight against, and it's obvious that that's the bad guy for the most part. I mean, you've obviously seen the twist in How to Kill Monsters, but it makes things clean, it makes things simple, and then we can just rely on having fun with the audience as well. So,
and I think it's a big part of that kind of like 80s, 90s nostalgia aesthetic, because Stranger Things has done this so well with the Demogorgon and the Demodogs and stuff. It's like it's cool when you're like, oh, there's a new version of the thing that we like creature wise and stuff. And I think just practical effects in particular when it comes to monsters does have like an aesthetic, this nostalgic flavor to it that at least to me feels like home, feels like oh, that's my childhood type of thing. And those are the movies that I always go back to. It's like, oh, I really feel like watching The Thing. Or like there's modern stuff like Dog Soldiers or The Descent. They're so cool, like the monsters in that. And I just love it. And they're the things that scare me the most. So I guess that's why I'm drawn to it. It's like you kind of like, if I'm going to make a horror film, what scares me? It's like horrible monsters with big teeth and big eyes. Except in all our films, they're all really goofy.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, in the back. Yes, hi. Microphone's coming. Microphone's coming. The microphone's coming. Also, kind of sort of like to piggyback on what you're saying as well, is there was that like it's you as a viewer, as an audience member, kind of sort of goes, oh, this is humanity. Me, I relate, and we are together against the monster. It's really cool. Microphone's up there. There we go.
What kind of practical visual techniques did you use to make the gory deaths?
What kind of practical visual effects and practical effects you guys use to create sort of the gory effects in and the death specifically, right? Yeah, fantastic. In the death.
Yeah, it's all like real stuff that is used in the same stuff used in Hollywood, really. So it's like we buy all of our fake. You can make your own fake blood, but we buy Rob's blood in particular, which is a brand. And he was the guy who made the blood for like Saving Private Ryan. So it's like Hollywood used blood, and you buy like big liters of that. Quite expensive, but I would recommend it because if you make your own fake blood, it attracts like wasps and everything. It's sticky, it never washes out. So my wife is the lead actress in it. She plays Jamie. We've put her through a lot of hell. So she's always covered in fake blood, and she's like literally gone, oh, this blood's really good because I can like wash it out of my hair. So she's like gives us we had
the opposite effects of that one time. So when we did Creature Below, and again we had a visual effects guy, but he was a bit ragtag and stuff, and he made his own blood. And we shot this blood cannon, which is just essentially an air compressed kind of super soaker.
Fill it with blood.
And we shot this blood all over Michaela, who thankfully came back and worked with us, covered her in blood. She was in the scene for a while. We're still filming, and like anything, you're shooting right up to time. And she was like, "Right, I need to jump on the train. I've got to get back." Ran over to Stewart, had a shower. Guys, it's not coming out my hair. And we were like, "Oh, that's interesting. Well, get the train. I'm sure it'll be fine." It wasn't fine. She had an audition the next day, I think it was, for a theatre production company, and had to go, "Look, guys, my hair is still covered in blood." So we ended up having, I think we paid to get her hair done again.
Yeah, paid to get her hair done, but she was like strawberry blonde, and it was like suddenly red.
Oh my God, yes.
But yeah, sorry. And then we essentially just work with various people. So on How to Kill Monsters, we work with Mark and Paul, who are DDFX, I think is their company name. And they're based down south, I think Coventry way. I say down south. You are down south. We're in the north. Sorry,
Midlands.
Yeah. So yeah, they work in Coventry, and they're just two brothers who just love stuff like American Werewolf in London, and literally made all the monsters in their garage, brought them up to York. But it's all like latex and silicone molds and things like that, and a lot of sometimes just polystyrene.
Yeah. But it's about getting those passionate, creative people involved, and I think what we try and do is make sure everyone has fun. Like when we kind of pitched to them, and we'd worked with Paul. Paul
and Mark,
in the past, before we might, because Paul was loosely on Creature Below, and we pitched these ideas, and they were just buzzing off it because they're like us, same kind of nostalgia-filled horror fans from the 80s and 90s. And they were really creative, and they were really capable. So they put in loads of time and energy and effort before like this we started filming and everything, to make everything and to execute things. And they were like mad scientists. They were figuring it out as they went along as well, really, which was great. And we threw a lot at them because we had a lot of monsters, a lot of creatures, and yeah, if we hadn't done practical effects, I don't think we would have been anywhere with the films, really.
No,
because it would have stolen the heart of it.
Yeah, I think that's why it did well at film festivals, because it's just like a pure, you can feel the love for the genre in it, because we didn't really compromise on that. And even like there's a bit where they run outside and there's a big Cthulhu. Our props guy, Gary, who made the miniature police station. So when it like zooms out, he made an entire model of the police station when it's floating around. But he built this big Cthulhu with wings that actually flapped on little rods, and we just kind of covered it in. There's this stuff you can get called ultra slime, which is what they used in Alien to, make the xenomorph look really slick and all the goo to come down. You can buy it, and it does not come off your hands no matter what. It's amazing to prank people with, because it's like you can't wash your hands, it just stays on it. But we covered it in that, and that's we shot that on a green screen, flapping away, coming up. And then Nick Vince, who plays Tinny G, who's kind of the rough guy who gets eaten. We still got that big tentacle in the office. It's just like this giant tentacle. You can imagine us laughing our asses off filming him just wrapped in a tentacle going,
I think I ended up making that tentacle.
You had to paint it.
Yeah, I had to paint it all in my garden under a massive tarpaulin thing. And my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "It all makes sense in the end."
But like, it all gets you. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the process.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a creative process.
But like the skeleton, like my mum washed all the bodies. Like when they go into the office in the film, and like there's just like everyone's dead and it's all gooey. And there's like a skeleton they turn around. We had to wash those because the problem with latex and fake blood goes moldy. So you can't keep it. And we kept them from the last film because they're really cheap. So we're like, we'll just reuse the skeletons every time. And they stank. And my mum washed them and literally hung them from the washing line with all the bits of flesh on and stuff like that. So she had to tell everyone in the village, like, "Oh, it's not real."
Don't worry about it. We don't keep our dead bodies outside. We keep them inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the real ones are inside.
But again, kind of to go back to your question, is like you can make. I feel like again, our practical effects are within a budget. Whatever you do, just think about how you film it, and it's just lighting, camera angles, how long you hold on it for in the edit. And because I edit it as well, I kind of know how long I'm gonna shoot something for. And I think on every film you get tighter and tighter and tighter on showing the stuff, because there's a level in horror comedy and with practical effects where it looks cool and the audience will forgive the fact that it's practical effects and goofy because it's still better than CGI. It's still more convincing to the brain. The brain goes, oh wow, oh, that's gory and horrible. But if you hold on it long enough, then they start to go, that's just latex and foam, stuff like that. So
they laugh at it and not with it.
yeah, exactly. So it's definitely a balancing act for sure.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I am conscious of time. We're kind of sort of running towards the end of this session. If there is like a very quick question that's really burning on somebody's mind. No, everybody's happy. Well, guys, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you so much for making the movie. We really loved it. We really enjoyed it. It was an absolutely fantastic movie. We can't wait to hear more about the video game that you guys are working on. Do you guys want to do a little plug of that right now?
Yeah. We made a game as an interactive movie called Dead Reset that is on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, S, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. Right now, it's like 12 quid. Yeah, it's a crazy sci-fi time loop horror movie. So we made that 2 years after How to Kill Monsters. And I think it's definitely the best thing we've made. You can kind of see, now you've seen How to Kill Monsters, play Dead Reset, and you will see that hopefully we've evolved.
Yeah.
But again, shot it in the exact same building, in the same studios.
Nice.
You'll see a lot of this. We use the same actors, but in different parts. And it's not a comedy. It's like a deadly serious sci-fi horror. And the entire point of the game is you're trapped in a death loop and you get to kill the main character over and over again in really horrible ways. And I feel like on this one, we really went crazy with the effects.
Stepped up.
Yeah. So if you like the gore and the monsters, you'll really like Dead Reset. So yeah, please give it a go. I think on iOS, on your iPhone, it's like 4 quid. And you can literally play it in bed tonight. So yeah, have fun.
Nice. Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for tonight. And thank you so much for being here and joining us. Absolutely fantastic. Can we give them a quick round of applause? Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thank
Guys,
you for having us. It's great.
Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you at Screens by the Sea. So these
Yeah.
guys are going to be at Screens by the Sea. So if you want to have any other questions, you can book some time with them through our website, short little sessions in the afternoon at our industry hub at Screens by the Sea in March. So once again, thanks so much, guys. Have an absolutely fantastic good night. And I will see you in March.
Thanks, guys. See you later. See you in March.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.